Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, April 16th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. I want to start off by saying that our May newsletter, The Voice of the Retired Public Employee, it's on its way to you right now. Some of you may have already received it, but keep an eye on your mailbox. This is chock full of important breaking news for you. Some very positive news in this. Right off the bat, we have Congressman Neal filing his bill to reform the windfall elimination provision. Of course, it's H.R. 2337. We also have a great story right on the front page of the success of our public pension plans over the past year and the tremendous recovery that they have made, particularly starting with the State Pension Reserves Investment Trust Fund and the PRIM board that manages it, and Treasurer Deb Goldberg, who chairs the PRIM board. All of these folks have been doing a great job on your behalf, and the success of our pension funds over the past year really give us confidence moving forward. But let me give credit where it's due and say a special thank you to Bill Reary and Nancy Delaney, who all of you know. Bill, of course, is our general counsel here at Mass Retirees and is my right-hand man, my good friend as well. But Bill and Nancy work hand in hand to publish, edit, produce this newsletter. 6 times a year this comes out, and it's a labor of love for them. It's their main focus when it's newsletter time. And this last edition in particular proved pretty challenging. Just days before we were supposed to go to press, we got word that Congressman Neal was reintroducing his WEP reform bill. This was major news, extremely important to our association and extremely important to you if you're someone who's impacted by the WEP. We had to get this information in the newsletter, so I immediately called Bill, and it was a stop the presses kind of moment. Bill flew into action. We had to change a bunch of things in the newsletter that will carry over now to the July edition. But needless to say, this caused a ton of work for Bill and Nancy and the folks at Chameleon Design who work with us on the desktop publishing. For those of you who don't know, we write every word of this in-house. We do all of the work on this in-house. The only things that we get some help with from the outside, again, our friends at Chameleon Design Group help us with making it look fantastic. And then it's printed and mailed by Standard Modern. They're a great print shop right here in Massachusetts, union operated, down on the South Coast. They do fantastic work for us. So I just want to give everyone credit where it's due and say thank you. And the finished product really speaks for itself. Now, in terms of Congressman Neal and this legislation, this is a really big deal. And you're going to hear us talking about this week after week until we get this thing done. And I know there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger. And as I've said over and over again, you have every right to be frustrated and angry. At the same time, we can't give up. We just can't throw our arms up in the air or just continue to complain about something without rolling up our sleeves and doing everything we possibly can to fix the situation for you. And that's what we're committed to here at Mass Retirees. This is extremely important to us. We know how important it is to you. And we're going to do everything we possibly can to work with Richie Neal and our other 8 members of our congressional delegation to get this done. Now you'll see in here, page 2 is a personal letter from Chairman Neal to our members. He wanted the opportunity to speak directly to you. 2 weeks ago, we shared the video from him, and in our newsletter is the letter from him for our members to read yourselves of just how important this is to him and the commitment that he is putting into this. But he's just one person. He's a very powerful congressman. He's the chairman of Ways and Means. That carries a lot of clout. But at the same time, he's not a dictator. He's not God. He can't just wave a magic wand and suddenly everything is great. I wish it were that easy. But if it was that easy, this would have been taken care of decades ago. We have been fighting about this now for 38 years. And we've gone through various starts and stops, and we've gotten pretty close in the past to finally getting it done, and just always come up a little bit short. We don't want to allow that to happen again. So we're doing everything we can on our end, but I need to ask for your help as well. If you haven't already done so, and particularly, this is important if you live outside of Massachusetts. If you are a resident of another state and you vote in that other state, you need to contact your local member of Congress and ask them for 2 things. First of all, ask them if they have not already done so to please co-sponsor H.R. 2337. That's HR 2337. That's Congressman Neal's WEP reform bill. Ask them to co-sponsor it. Secondly, ask them to please make WEP reform a priority for this session. There are a million issues out there that Congress is being pulled in every different direction to do something about. We need to make sure that your issue, which is most important to us, gets their full attention. And by doing so, we really increase our chances of success. So that's job number one, to increase the co-sponsorship of HR 2337. As of this recording, we're now up to 143 co-sponsors on the bill, but we need to get as many as we can. 218 would be ideal. That's just more than half of the membership of the House of Representatives. But the more we can get on board with this, the better. And it's a bipartisan issue. It's not a Republican versus Democrat. This is bipartisan. Now, at the same time, we are doing everything here internally to grow our national coalition. And that really starts with the work that we're doing at home. I am thrilled by the support that we are getting from our allies here in Massachusetts across all of the public employee unions. Just this past week, the correction officers, the National Association of Government Employees, NAGE, and the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts, known as the PFFM, and the correction officers, by the way, are known as MCOFU. These three unions were just the latest unions to join with us and many of their fellow unions across Massachusetts as officially supporting HR 2337. And not just putting their name on the bill as a supporter, but doing the work necessary to reach out to their members, to get their members involved, as well as their national contacts involved to actually get this done. Now, we view this issue as just as important for the active employees as it is for you as retirees. Because let's face it, if you're an active employee here in Massachusetts, someday you're going to retire, someday you're going to be impacted by the windfall elimination provision, just like retirees are today. That's unless we're able to do something about this. So we're going to have more to say in the coming weeks as this coalition comes together. But I want to say thank you to all of you for doing your part. Thank you to our friends in the organized labor community across Massachusetts for stepping up and being willing to put some resources behind this and help us. It means the world. But at the same time, we're still very busy here in Massachusetts. I want to remind everybody that right now is open enrollment period for your health insurance. If you are enrolled in the state group insurance plans under the GIC, April and into the first week of May is the annual open enrollment. If you have any questions or problems or want to change your benefits around, now is the time to do it. The GIC has also mailed out the beneficiary verification form for all of you. So if there's anything on that form that you want to change in terms of your beneficiary under your life insurance or which health insurance carrier you have, now is the time to do it. Reach out to the GIC. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to us. Cheryl Stillman, our insurance coordinator, is always available to help you. Her number is right on the back of your membership card. It's also open enrollment period, as I said, at the municipal level. Many cities and towns right now are having virtual insurance fairs where you can change around your insurance benefits. The last thing I want to mention, and this is also really good news, this past week, all of our association-sponsored and filed legislation here in Massachusetts received bill numbers and were assigned to various committees. The majority of our bills are now before the Joint Committee on Public Service. We do have some bills before Healthcare Finance and a couple of other committees, but the bulk of our legislation, once again, is before the Joint Committee on Public Service. We will be sending you later this month a full list of all of the bills, including the bill numbers. So if there's something that you're interested in, you can get directly involved by contacting your rep and your senator and asking that they support this particular bill. But for now, thank you so much for continuing to be a member of our association. Please like this video on Facebook, like it on YouTube, and keep an eye on your mailbox for the new newsletter. It'll be coming to you real soon. But again, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon. Stay safe.